Welcome to another episode of the Guy Macchia, or as my boys call me, G-Mac podcast. This week's episode is sponsored by Skechers, because that's how my dad says it. Get your Skechers. Oh yeah, I did that on Instagram. That's how I opened an Instagram post. And my boy texted me. He said, nothing like opening up my IG to G-Mac orgasming in my face. And I said, I am going to this season in fantasy football, orgasm in your face. Ayo, let's go. Hello. Welcome back. If you've been listening. If you're my mom, don't listen to this episode. I'm going to be keeping things extremely light. There may be some lewd stories, some sexual escapades gone awry. Everything's self-deprecating for the most part, hopefully not too misogynistic sounding. I was, at some point in my past, a misogynistic douche, but we've tried to overcome that. That's what this podcast is about. And I realized last episode that I may have overshared in a vulnerable, emotional way. And I was told recently that I don't do a great job of giving the full breadth of my persona in my social media presence. So this will be me acting like a clown, which is what I do a majority of the time. I think mostly in songs. Recently I've been breaking out in Migos' Slippery. I say, they know I geek a lot. They don't know I keep a Glock. Hey, right? Like I'm always vibing. Cause all I think about is money and sex, fucking and checks. In this lifestyle, I swear you either fucking, and if I ain't getting rich, I'm probably in your bitch. And if I ain't there, I'm probably getting rich, cause all I think about is, that's not an original, that's a Big Sean song. Shout out Big Sean. We have personal beef. He turned down a potato croquet I was passing him at an event when I was a cater waiter in Manhattan at age 24. So if you see this, I would love to grab a coffee, maybe make amends so I can listen to I Don't Fuck With You again, because I can't listen to it because I don't currently fuck with you. So yeah, and I'm trying to leave fun voicemails for my friends. I think you guys should start getting in the game. You leave a voicemail, just let it ride. It's a little creative op. I think it started with my sister, my Ralphio partner in crime. We're always singing, we're vibing out. And I don't know if you guys know Lips of an Angel by Hinder, but deep cut, throwback, and I kind of sing it in the Creed voice, but when she doesn't pick up the phone, it's really good to hear your voicemail saying your name, and it sounds so sweet. Should I keep going? Saying you can't come to the phone right now, hearing those words, it makes me weep. Gotta get it out there. So, keeping it light, and my life has been a pretty big joke. It's been pretty fun. I'm having a good time. So if I don't iterate that properly, I hope you know that, and I hope this episode dictates that. I'm gonna tell some stories about my past. I'll probably start with one that the producers of Love Island liked a lot when I auditioned for the first American season. And that's a story about a girl I met, and we went on a handful of dates, one of which cost me a fantasy football draft. I forgot about the draft, and she was hot. She was a yogi. There was a lot of sexual tension, 4 or 5 dates. I was starting to think about it, and one day we took yoga, and we went back to her place, and I was going down on her. And again, Mom, please try not to listen to this. And as she started to get excited and came close to climax, I actually climaxed in my pants, going down on her. I don't know if y'all have ever rubbed up on an Egyptian thread count 500 bed frame sheet situation, but got me going. Fortunately, I had a pair of underwear and pants because of yoga in the morning, thank God, in my bag, and I never saw her again after that. So, and I don't know if she knows that. So if you see that and you know who you are by that description, then that happened, and I hope you're well. What else? I mean, that was in Manhattan. I might as well talk about Another escapade. This one's not sexual related. You can listen to this, Mom. You know about this. It's probably about the time when I fell off a foldable bike in Manhattan in the middle of 34th and Park Avenue in like prime time, 5 p.m. I had been reverse commuting to Caddy on a foldable bike in Long Island. So I'd fold the bike, unfold the bike, ride from my apartment in Manhattan to the train station, Penn Station, fold it up, take the train an hour, ride it to the golf course, do the same thing in reverse. So I'm coming home, end of day, foot gets caught in the front pedal after it slipped off, and I flip over the handlebars. Fortunately not in the middle of the street, but on the other side, full. And this is the only time having bad posture saved my life. Although there were about 500 onlookers who saw me go down, I was already in kind of a turtle tuck and roll. Shoulder hit first, rolled up, no pain, pop up. Look around, I'm mortified. I go to drive the bike off, and I'm not moving. I can't move. I keep trying. I look down, front tire bent in half. So I have to fold the bike, put it on my shoulder, walk the rest of the 2 blocks home. And there was a woman there, elder woman. She's like, "Sir, I saw that. You should probably like sit down. I think you might be in shock." I was like, "I am in shock, lady," because 500 people just watched me eat shit in the middle of Manhattan. And if that happened today and not 10 years ago, I would be all over somewhere. So thank God that didn't happen. This is a throwback to college. This is a tough one. But, you know, we all do dumb shit when we're fucked up. There was a girl that I had been interested in, and we finally got together for the act, for some sexy time. And I was living in a big triple, but my roommates were gone. And you know how you always black out? If you've ever blacked out before, at the most critical juncture of your night when something bad or important always happens. Well, I somehow blacked out towards the end and fell off my bed and knocked a fan, one of those freestanding stem fans, into her vagina and cut a little bit of the top upper part. Not bad, but like a cut. And then I blacked in. And I was like, "What happened?" And obviously she's explaining this to me, but I'm not understanding the physics of how I fall off the bed and then the trajectory of the fan coming back at her. It was a mess. So needless to say, we didn't continue. We got her the help she needed. She didn't need medical attention, thank God. We didn't talk after that for probably a handful of years, but we reunited as friends in the after college life. So shout out, you know who you are. Hope you're well. Oh man, what other terrible things do I want to potentially expose myself to? I mean, I guess in line with my Manhattan excursions after college, there was another girl that I had been interested in college. She was a year older than me. We had met up in the real world like once in the past, nothing happened. Anyway, this particular day, it was a fall day. I remember we were at a bar on a Saturday watching college football. I was high, had the munchies. I go in on like a huge nacho, like grande plate, biggest plate of nachos you've ever seen, works, fixins, of course, and like maybe some wings. And I do everything in excess, so even though I was with 2 of my buddies, they didn't finish the nachos. I needed to finish the nachos, and I walk out of this bar rotund. I'm sidling through, like I'm just like a penguin. I am so full and so disgusting feeling. And I go to this party with it was an old post-college party, and this girl is there. And I mean, I was in no position to be asserting any sort of attraction towards anyone. But I think she was interested. So at some point we left the party, and again, I'm like suffering. We get back to her place. I'm laying like on my back. We finally like get going. I may have lasted 13 and a half seconds, and I promptly fell off and went to the bathroom and took a 5-pound shit. Legitimately just like detoxified, purged, got my clothes on. Tip of the cap. Sorry about that. If you know who you are, hope you're well. Sorry that happened. And then one that I want to talk about that I just think is unique and fun, maybe a little longer, long form. I don't know if you guys who have dicks, like this happens to you, but my dick will always tell me when it wants something. So I happen to be in Fort Collins, Colorado for my master's year, and I started taking hot yoga during the summer before classes started. And there was an instructor there. She was very elegant and pretty. She kind of looked like a funky, sexy, like yogi alien. She just moved with this immaculate nature that just like awed me. And probably like a couple weeks in, 3, 4, probably like a month, we're having a conversation. I've been taking her class like once a week, and I had just showered. We were the only people in the studio, and I got a full-blown boner just from having a conversation with her. And that's when I knew that there was something going on. I had to cover it up with my gym bag. I don't know if you've ever been a 7th grade boy, right? You north tuck it in the waistband, or you like figure out a way. It's never a pretty process. Anyway, I'm like, turn to this, I'm like blushing a little bit. And so I stopped taking her class because, well, I did the normal thing, and I stalked her on Instagram after that, of course. And I noticed that she has 3 kids, and there's a dude in the picture. So me, post-pandemic, I just moved out of my parents' like I'm out, right? I'm like, okay, I'm not getting involved. I stopped taking her class because our classes started. I get a text from her a couple months into class. Hey, we miss you in class. We should grab coffee. I'm like, okay, cool. We grab coffee. We're sitting. We're flirty. I'm like, don't know what's going on. I'm a little confused. She's never divulged to me the nature of any relationship, so I'm, for all intents and purposes, like operating like she's single. And she hits me with, hey, I'm in a polyamorous relationship. I am attracted to you, and I want to date you. And I'm like, sick. Don't know how that works. Coming out of the pandemic, it's been a little rough, a little cold. I'm like, I can be the other guy. No strings attached. That's epic. But unfortunately, that's not how that worked. He wanted to meet me, and I was out. I was like, nah, we're done. Don't worry about it. But there was still a pull. She still pulled me in. She pulled me in. We maintained contact after that. And eventually, at some point, I met him. Super nice guy. Vet, into health and fitness. Just a really nice, like self-introspective, good dude. And you know, that's just what it was for a little bit. I became friendly kind of with both of them. And at some point towards the end of my tenure there, I had let them both know things had escalated with her. At some point, we like had an opportunity. He had consented to letting me just like be alone with her. I was down. It was going to happen. It fell through. So nothing happened. And after that, I voiced to both of them that I wanted just friendship. And that was agreed upon. However, they threw me a going away party. I was moving probably a couple weeks after that. And, you know, I was there we had a couple drinks, maybe we smoked a little bit, and it was like 8 p.m. and they started getting a little handsy with each other. And that's when I was like, okay, it's like my cue to leave. So I leave, and I'm back home in my apartment, and she texts me and she's like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, hey, I just wanted to get some ice cream. And I get a picture back of her, no face, but of her, a live photo of her getting fucked from behind. And the word or caption was, I wish you were eating that ice cream out of the dip in my back. And I felt like my bounds had been overstepped. Looking back on it now, because I think I found out he just wanted to cuck, which in hindsight, I could probably be down, right? I wanted her that bad. Cucking, if you don't know, is when the dude just watches from a corner or a chair or a closet. And I'm honored, I'm flattered that you want to watch me have sex with your wife, partner. Thank you. Makes me feel good. But I didn't do it, and we went on a little bit of a hiatus from speaking. There was a text blow up. However, I've forgiven her. However, we go back and forth because it's a very crazy, chaotic. You know how it is with these yogis, man. These yogis are crazy sometimes. There's 2 forms of yogi. And I don't know which one she is. I'm not saying which one she is. There's either like the truly self-actualized yogis, or the ones who are like so egotistically self-centered and believe the world revolves around them. I also don't know which one I am. But I'm one of those two. I'll let you decide. And yeah, I mean, I guess the last one I'll close with, speaking of yogis, was post-pandemic. I hadn't gotten laid in over 2 years, like around 2 years, maybe over 2 years, 2 years. And I get invited up to upstate New York by another yoga instructor I used to see. I had never been physically attracted to her before. Obviously, she had a great body. She moved well. She had a boyfriend when I met her. Didn't anymore. Invites me and my buddy up to her cabin in Fishkill, New York. We get there. We do hape, which is an Amazonian like blend of herbs that somebody blows in your nose. It's considered nature's Xanax. I wasn't down at first, and my boy did. He's like, dude, you gotta get in the game. I will tell you, if this is natural, I was relaxed like a motherfucker. I was on the ground, fully conscious, but my body was like a noodle for like 40 minutes. It was fantastic. Anyway, digression. All four of us, there was a girl, one of them left. Three of us, me, my buddy, and her, end up taking some little mushroom tea. And I find out she's kind of become like a shaman, right? I kind of sense that. She's like transcended yoga into shamanism. And we take these mushrooms, and she's reading the tarot. And long short, she goes upstairs to shower. I have the genius idea to go up and join her. We end up having sex. It was strange. And not really super enjoyable on the drugs. I don't know. It was weird. And again, I never felt that like physical crazy attraction for her. I always felt of her in like a nurturing, motherly way. Anyway, I made the mistake of allowing her, when I moved to Colorado, to stay with me in my studio apartment. That was mistake number one. That's totally on me. Long short of it is the whole thing blows up. I said something along those lines, like, I'm attracted to you in this like nurturing, motherly way. I don't want to engage with you sexually. And she goes on a diatribe about how I don't know who I am. There's still so much I have to understand, which is true. But I did know who I was, and I felt like any yogi shouldn't really go off on you for your journey, right? And what you're experiencing. That's a you problem, not a me problem. And she made it a me problem. Needless to say, that the thing blew up. I ended up dropping her off at a hotel. She defriended me on all social media platforms. We do not speak anymore. If you happen to see this, I still wish you well, of course. But yeah, yogis be crazy out there. So, and I always just tend to attract the crazies. Last one, I guess, real quick on that note to close. My most recent yogi experience was with a girl I met through a friend of a friend. He visited one weekend. He's like, yo, I got this crazy girl. She's in LA right now. She's my neighbor. She's crazy, but she's hot. You should take her out. So I take her out, and we do have a good time. We're hitting it off. I have that yogi personality. That's one aspect of my personality, and that's the type I attract. And we hit it off. We have a good time. She proceeds to message me on Instagram every single day before she goes back to New York. She's supposed to return to LA at some point. And I, at some point, receive a text. It's okay, I'm communicating with her. But at some point, I receive a message from the yoga instructor I told you about earlier from Fort Collins that I got a boner with. And that prompts me, in conjunction with both of them, to make a story saying, if a girl starts showing you attention for your money, your looks, your personality, that's great. If a girl starts showing you attention when she finds out that Jupiter is in your 5th house and you're a Saturn rising or whatever it is, Jupiter rising, Mercury's in retrograde always, run for the hills. So I obviously blocked. I still was fucking with the other chick a little bit, but I blocked her from seeing the story because I figured she would be the first person to see it and know exactly it was about her. And I think the dude who introduced us double-crossed me because after that I didn't hear from her at all. Until a couple months later, I'm going by, I'm lonely, I text her, and I'm like, hey, are we still reading my Akashic records? And she just sends me back a screen recording of my story from a couple months earlier. I obviously tried to defend myself. I said, I swear, I believe it or not, that was actually prompted by another crazy yoga instructor that I know. And she was like, whether or not I do believe that, maybe you have a type and maybe you should look into it, pal. So I did, and I can't escape it, unfortunately. So if you're a normal corporate but like to work out businesswoman, whatever you do, marketing, I don't care, hit me up. But anyway, I hope this was an insight into my personality without being too offensive. I have a great mother and a great sister who I love very much. And all the women in my life and everybody, I try to respect them. But we all have past. We've all done dumb things. I try not to judge others, so I hope you don't judge me. I hope to just have shared some funny light on my life. But thank you for listening. Like and subscribe, all that shit. GMAC out.